jewelry making friends. My name is Joey Balistreri. If you are new here and don't know me yet, I'm so happy that you're here and welcome. And if you are returning to my channel, also welcome back to you. I'm so glad that you've chosen to watch what's on my beading mat today. So as you know, if you have been here, I have been on a bracelet making spree using silversilk&more products, the capture chain, the pipe chain, and some of the findings from silversilk&more. And then I've gone into my stash for the last few videos and just to show some different ways to finish off this product. So if you haven't seen this video, I will link it below. I did these bangle style bracelets using the pipe chain from Silversilk, but like on this one is showing some different ways to finish off the ends without spending that little bit of extra money for the Silversilk findings that are available on the website. So on this one, I used some little check bell glass flowers to kind of hide the ends of the pipe chain. And then I had these little tiara cast cones in my stash, and you know, just some really cute ways. And then in that video, I also used this I had purchased at a bead show, a golem bead and some handmade ceramic beads. And here's where I did use the little pipe chain ends that come on the, you know, that you can buy from Silversilk&more, but these are quite expensive. I mean, I love them and I buy them and I try to always have some on hand, but it does add some cost to a piece. So I've also shown in this video some double bead caps that work really well for finishing off the pipe chain. So again, I'll link this video below if you haven't seen it, but I had so much fun making this bangle style bracelet with the pipe chain that I've decided to do 2 more of those in today's video. So what I have here is a little piece of scrap wire, and I just worked out my pattern for the center focal point on this bracelet. And the reason that I do that is to get a good measurement so that I can wear anywhere between a 7 to a 7.5 inch bracelet. I kind of do a little bit better with like 7.25 inches. So this is what helps me to get my measurement. So I've kind of worked this out with some little spacer beads that are mermaid glass, and it's just some beads from my stash and these double bead caps. So I can link these below. This is an Amazon product, and so I can link that below, but I go ahead and do that for the measurement. And then I have another little scrap of wire for the end part of, so another one of those double bead caps, a little bellflower, little check glass bellflower, and then I have these little gold filled spacer beads. And so there again, I just put a little scrap of wire in there just so that I can come up with a measurement on my bracelet. And I'm going to finish this one off with this little tiara cast square toggle. So that also becomes part of my measurement. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that I'm not really a measurer. I measure with my heart. I make my jewelry with my heart, but I really don't want to waste my pipe chain. So in this case, I feel like I have to measure. So this will be about 1 inch on either end. My end of my bracelet is going to be like that. So that accounts for 2 inches of my length. And then this little center sort of bracelet bar is 1.5 inches. So that gives me 3.5 inches. Usually a toggle is about 1 inch. So that would be 4.5 inches. And then to get to 7.5, I'm going to cut 3 inches of my pipe chain. So, and I want it in 2 pieces because I'm going to have the pipe chain coming from this side and from this side. So I'm going to give myself 2, maybe 1.25 inch pieces of this beautiful pink pipe chain. So let me just get that little measurement and just cut it right there. And then I'm going to do another one that exact length for the other side of my bracelet. I'm just using this flat side of my cutter so that I get a nice blunt cut. And I don't know if the camera is showing, but this, if for those of you who have never worked with this product, pipe chain is like a silicone or rubber tubing on the inside, and then the machine does this beautiful knitted, very fine mesh wire knit right over that pipe chain. So when you cut the end, you always have a little bit of fraying, you know, a little bit of like metal bits of the wire bits that come off. So it's a good idea to just, you know, clean those ends off. And I do find them on my mat after I've made that cut. Okay, let me clean away some things. And let's start with this center piece. I'm going to use some 20 gauge para wire in gold. And you know, this is what I used on my other bracelets, and I've been wearing it, and it just works really well for making this little bangle style bracelet. Let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see the wire a little bit better. And I'm going to just string this pattern, take it off this piece of scrap wire, and just string that right on this, actually the wire that's going to be the bracelet, and just get it to the center. I like to sit and play with my beads a little bit and kind of work out my pattern off camera. I just, you know, I don't know, there's something about the camera rolling that sometimes I'm not calm and thinking, so I try to do this, and so the process of working out the pattern won't be boring, because you know, sometimes I'll sit for 5-10 minutes and just kind of play with the beads and move them around. So I have that strung onto the center, and then I'm going to put my pipe chain. Oops, I see that this one has a little bit that needs to be cleaned off the end. You can also, like, this is very fine gauge wire, so you can also kind of mold it with your fingers, you know, where you have, I don't know, my dog just got her squeaky toy and she's running around the house having fun. So yeah, I still see a little piece, and this is going to be right on the front of my bracelet, so I still see a little tiny piece of the cut part. I just want to make sure that is cleaned off of there. Okay, so I'm just going to string that on and see how it hides nicely inside that double bead cap. So, you know, it's just a nice, beautiful technique and a good way to save money on metal findings. I am still seeing that. Can you see? I'm still seeing that little tiny bit. Certain ways I hold it, it would show up. So yeah, you just really want to have a nice clean cut edge, you know, so you don't have little metal bits flying. That looks good. Okay, and then this is going to be the finish, another one of those double bead caps on this end. And let's see, what did I do here? Then a bellflower. And you know, you can see I've used the bellflowers as the finished ends on some of these bracelets, and that is also a really lovely technique. And these are an Amazon purchase as well. I can link those below. They came in, like, I can't remember, 7 or 8 colors in the little box, you know, in the order, all in one. So you had a whole bunch of choices. So if you don't love the pinks, you know, there were purples and yellow and green and like a mint green and even a clear, which I'm going to use in my next bracelet. So that's what the end is going to look like, and I'm going to lay this down and repeat that same stringing on this side. Let me see, turn it this way to keep those beads on there. And then just like I did, if you did see my other video, this is really the same technique. I'm going to put a little clamp on one end until I get my first wire wrapped loop in place. This is a really easy technique with really basic skills, wire wrapping skills, and creating a little bead pattern, and opening and closing a jump ring. Very, very basic. I would definitely classify this as a beginner friendly project. And I have a design background, so I love to go into my own stash and use beads and things that I have purchased and kind of curate my own designs. And I encourage people to do that, because if we've spent money on things and we've purchased things, chances are it's something we loved, it's something that intrigued us. We love the shape, the style, the color. And so I love these little projects for like going into my stash and finding, things that I've purchased and using them. So let me just check my measurement. I have clamped off one end. Let me just check my measurement. I am notorious for getting my bracelets too long. I have so much fun with the bead patterns, and so I'm notorious for, just stringing away, and the next thing I know, I have a 10-inch bracelet. So let's see. But this looks like it is going to be perfect. It is right at 6 inches. And by the time I do my wire wrapped loop and put my jump rings for my toggle, I think it's going to be perfect. And then what I didn't show you is that I have this tiny little scrap of chain that I actually had cut away from this bracelet. And I am not sure, this is a little bit of design on the fly, but I have these lovely little spring umbrellas, 2 different styles. Again, both of these are from Amazon. And I am thinking that I'm going to create a little dangle. I haven't actually worked it out yet, but that's what I was thinking, is that I would hang. I really love this little acrylic umbrella. It's really lightweight and it's just so sweet, and the colors were just absolutely perfect with my beads and my pipe chain. So I'm kind of leaning towards that one, but I did pull this one out as well, just in case this one didn't work. And I was thinking, let me have a look. I was actually thinking that I might put it on a jump ring on the front of the bracelet. So these bicone beads would work really well for that, because I could put my jump ring right there if I decide, like maybe a 6mm jump ring. So just a kind of a little bit of an idea where I'm going. And then I just want to hold this end in place while I get my first wire wrapped loop on this side. So this is just a normal wire wrapped loop like we always do. You can do messy wraps here if you like. I am going to try to do mine as neat as possible. That's kind of the look that I like. Center that loop and just get my little bit to manage here. But I love this bangle style bracelet, and I am really loving that I've chosen, of course, my favorite colors, but I'm loving that these can be worn separately or stacked and, worn as a little set of bracelets. So I really love that. Trim that away. And once I'll come back and tuck that little cut end once I have this side done. It's easier at that point. And let's see, I'm going to turn this way and get this side with a little loop in there. I'm laughing at my dog. She has her head all the way down into her toy basket, choosing something. Oprah, what are you playing with this morning, girl? Okay, I love my bent chain nose pliers for, like, I can put them in the hole of the loop if I need to tidy up my coils, line them up a little bit better, or scoot them up next to the loop. If in the wrapping process I wasn't perfectly happy with them, I love my bent chain nose pliers for that purpose. Okay, now that everything is secure, I can go back and tuck in my cut ends so that nothing is sharp. Now I just form it into a bracelet. I love having that wire going inside. It's so perfect for this. And look at that. Look how pretty that stacks with my other bracelet that I made. Oh, they just make me so happy. Okay, so I have a couple of little jump rings here for my tiara cast toggle. I have a tiny little stash of tiara cast, and I'm, using them for sort of special projects, things that I wanted to make for myself to wear. But I have found, I will say, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you, I have found what I think is going to be a fabulous alternative to tiara cast. It is called Athena cast, and it came out a few weeks ago on the Potomac Beads website, and I can also link that below if you have not perused. There are 50 pages on the website of Athena cast products. They're made in Athens, Greece, and they have everything from cones, end caps, spacer beads. Like I said, 50 pages of really beautiful products, and I've done a small order already, and so far I'm really impressed. It's a really high quality metal, and they're just beautiful, and the coating on them, the plating on them, the gold and silver and copper plating is just beautiful. So I can link that below for those of you who are hoarding your tiara cast and want a nice high quality metal. So on my other bracelet, I did have to go back after I stopped the video and add a little jump ring, a small jump ring, just to, if you can see, I don't want to struggle with my toggle clasp. Let me see how difficult this one is. Sometimes it's only difficult because I'm trying to do it under the camera, but I did go back after I paused the video on this bracelet that is already on my arm and add a couple of jump rings, and I feel like I'm going to need to do that on this one too, because I'm just struggling a little bit. I just need a little bit more length. So I will get out some jump rings. I have some right here, and I think I will add them only to the side that has the toggle, because that gives me a little bit here to pull it through the square on the other end. So let me just do that really quickly, and then we'll make a decision about the little umbrella charm. I just love those. They just scream spring to me, like spring showers, and they are so sweet, and they were really inexpensive. And I've also done a video, there were like I can't remember, 4 or 5 different patterns, and they came in 2s and 3s. So I also did a video of like spring shower, very whimsical, fun earrings for, just when you don't feel like wearing jewelry that's too serious. That I think is going to be much easier to get on and off. And it didn't add too much length because I had the length really nice. I just wanted this to not be, I wanted my little toggle bar to pull through a little bit more easily. And on these bangle style bracelets, like the wire just creates that nice leverage. So yeah, it's perfect, and I actually just love these even as a set. So yeah, I might even go add another jump ring on this side. I don't know. I tend to do that after I pause the camera and photograph everything, kind of decide if I want to do anything extra with the clasp. But so I have that now, and let's just decide what kind of a charm we want to add. I'm kind of thinking I have a little 6mm jump ring here. This actually might even be 8mm. I made all my jump rings out of the same wire that is appearing in my wire wrapped loops. So let me just give this a try. The way I pictured it in my head was to go have this little umbrella hanging right from the middle, And I'm going to have to open it a bit wider to get it over all the beads. There. So the idea was to put this tiny little scrap of chain so that my umbrella would kind of dangle from the top. Let me find a little space to get it on there. And so these have this tiny little loop, and on my other projects with these, I have been able to gently open that loop. They do have a little bit of adhesive, some kind of a glue that keeps the acrylic part of the umbrella. My chain is really small. I think I need a teeny bit more space. So what I've found is that I can open them and close them without damaging the umbrella, just not being too aggressive. I think I might even need to cut a couple of links off this chain. Let me see. Yeah, I think I don't want to open and close that loop too many times, and this was just a scrap of chain that I had. So get my finger under the little umbrella to give me some leverage. So if I can link these below, and if it's, you know, something that you want to play with in your own designs, that's just a little heads up that that does open. Oh, that is so sweet. I don't know if I'm gonna like, that's the only problem, is that I think it's always going to be upside down there. So let's see, plan B. I didn't really want it on the back because I think when I put my wrist down, I think that might end up giving me a problem. Let's see, let me try the other little umbrella. I also got these other, yeah, I love it. I think it's so cute, but I think when it's on the wrist, I don't know if it's going to hang right. Yeah, I don't think that is going to hang right. These little umbrellas made perfect earrings. Let's try this one instead. A little bit of design on the fly. I love these too, and these have a nice weight to them. And then I'm going to show you one other thing that I always do, and I haven't shown it on any of my other bracelets, but when I pause the camera after I'm finished, there's one other thing that I do to my bracelets. Oh, that is so sweet. I love that little umbrella hanging from the front. Very, very pretty. And these came also in quite a few colors. So let me show you one other thing that I do. I have this product that I get from Potomac Beads. It is called Permalac Clear, and I will use that on things like this that are from Amazon, like these double bead caps, and any of these kind of findings. These are gold filled little spacer beads, so they won't need it. And this is tiara cast, and my loops are done out of anti-tarnish para wire, so it doesn't need it there. But this is almost like polishing your nails. It is a very thin sheer coat. Let me grab just a little plastic bag here, just so I don't drip anything on my mat. And I'll just show you how easy this is. And it's something that I have not really shown in my videos, but it's something that I do on my jewelry before I give it away, sell it, wear it. I always just come and put a little coat, just brush it on, not too thick, and I'll just go around everywhere that I can see, like the metal edge. And it dries totally clear and doesn't take too long to dry, but I tend to set things aside until the next day just to be sure. And like anywhere that the tarnish might ruin the look of my piece, it just takes a very few minutes, and it's just something that I do, and I don't always show it in my videos, but it's something that I do, and I thought I would share it with you today. It's very easy. It's just, I mean, if you can polish your nails, you know, you can do this. And I just go around and make sure there's not any big drips, or, you know, that it's not super thick anywhere, and just take my time, and I'm careful not to brush it on over my beads because I don't want to lose their sparkle, but it's clear even if I get a little bit on the bead. It's so worth it. I live in Florida. It's hot here, it's humid, we're sweaty all the time. Sunscreen touches our jewelry, and so for me, this is just a little step that I do to add quality to my jewelry and longevity, and just adds quality to what I do and what I produce, and makes me feel good, makes me feel happy to know that, you know, when I give something away, or if I put it up for sale, that people will have it, for whoever has it will have it for a long time and enjoy it, and they won't deal with tarnish. We are going to do another bracelet together. On this one, I'm using another piece of pipe chain. It's the same one that I have used on this bracelet, and this time I'm going to do silver. Mixing gold and silver for 2024 is going to be a big thing, and gold is my favorite, but I do like to mix metals. So I'm going to do this same bangle style bracelet, and once again I have gone into my stash and pulled out some of my favorite beads. I have these little lampwork beads, and look at these bicones. Aren't they amazing? They actually have like another bead inside the bicone bead. I just thought they were beautiful, and look how well they match this pipe chain. So that's going to be my focal on this bracelet. And I've also pulled out some little check glass metallic looking silver spacers, and I'm going to incorporate those in my design. And I have a silver, this is a bronze toggle with a silver coating, and that's going to be my toggle on this. And from that same little flower mix that I was talking about, that I've used, these little bell flowers that I got from Amazon, that is one of the colors that came in the box of flowers, and so you'll find that link below. So I'm going to use those. So this is another like cost-effective way, another cost-effective bracelet, because I actually have not used any of the findings that you purchase on the Silversilk website. So that just makes it a little bit more cost effective. And I've also made a few little jump rings out of this same 20 gauge anti-tarnish wire. And I'm going to do this one a little bit differently, because on this one I'm going to put my toggle clasp on the front. So instead of it being at the wrist, I'm going to attach my toggle here. So these will be on the ends of my bracelet. So let me do that same thing where I sort of come up with my, I always cut about an 8-inch piece of wire. It's what I have done on all of these bracelets, because it gives me, you know, plenty of length to do my wire wrapped loops on the end. And so I'm going to kind of work out a little bit of a pattern here, and then I can take a measurement and see how much of the pipe chain I need to cut to get my proper length. Oh, that is so pretty. I love those little flowers in between. Look at that. That is beautiful. Here I'm doing that same little measuring again. I'm laughing because I don't measure a lot. I measure with my heart, but I don't want to waste my pipe chain. So there's about 2 inches of beads there. And then I'm going to give this a try with the toggle. It's such a pretty heart toggle. I'm going to give it a try toggle on the top of the bracelet. So with these beads here, that is another 1.5 inches, so that's 3.5 inches. And so if I want a 7.5-inch bracelet, then I need a 4-inch length of this pipe chain, but I'm going to cut it a bit shorter because I am certain that I will need to add a few jump rings here in order to make this bar easily slide into my heart. I'm sorry, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. So I'm going to come, I don't know, let's see, 4 inches would be there. Maybe I'll do 3 3/4, and then if I add in some jump rings, which it just makes it much easier to get the bar inside the toggle. So I will come right about there. I'm going to cut over my dish, cutting again with the flat side of the cutters, and let me just make sure that I don't have any little bits of fine gauge wire that's coming off. Looks pretty good. And so this is going to, let me string this down to the middle, this little pattern, and put my pipe chain onto this side, and then this little bead cap is going to come down to this side, this little flower, making it into a bead cap. And I think I'm going to add another one of those little spacers, so it looks something like that. And then my toggle is going to go on the front of my bracelet. It's going to clasp right here. So let me get in my little clamp and move it down just a little bit so I have space to do my wire wrap loops on both ends. There we go. And I'm just going to clamp this off like I have been doing and come to this end and put a loop. Get, 3 to 4 wraps. I like that little bit of silver presence on the front of this bracelet. And trim away. I'll come back and finish that end like I did on the other ones once I have this side wrapped up. And same thing. Get my pliers in there to help me get it nice, neat wraps. And I'll try to do 4 wraps on this end to match the other end, because this is going to be in the front of this bracelet. Okay, now I can just go back and tuck in my cut ends to make sure nothing is sharp. And form this into a little bracelet. So this one's going to be a little bit of an unusual closure, because instead of doing it to the back, I am doing it kind of on the front. So then it could go this way too. It can go either way. I sort of like that. It's going to create a little bit of an asymmetrical look. So I just thought, since I've done so many bracelets that can stack, that I would try something different on this one. So I will need to bring in my jump rings, and I'm going to do my heart. Let me check the orientation of my loops. Yes, this should be really good, just the way that it is, because I'm going to put the jump ring in between. So do a little jump ring right here, and my heart toggle, and then on this side is where I will need to put a few jump rings. So I'm going to do 1 larger one and 2 of these smaller ones to make the little look of a chain. Okay, I'm going to connect. I'm going to close this last jump ring, and let's see how that goes in. Oh, I put my heart on upside down. Let me just check and see how it goes on, and then I'll fix it. Oh, that is so pretty. It's like a little side closure. I just needed to flip my heart into the other direction. Since I have that 20 gauge wire running through the beads and the pipe chain, I can like mold it into a perfect little oval to fit my wrist. But I love that. Look, now I have my perfect little heart toggle right on the side. It makes this bracelet bar have a little bit of an asymmetrical look, and I absolutely love this. This is beautiful alone, but this can also be stacked with other bracelets, a leather bracelet, and even with some of these ones that I have already made. So I will get some pictures of my little bracelet project from today up at the end of the video. And I thank you all so much for watching today and spending time on my beading mat. I really appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, it would be really lovely if you would do that. It doesn't cost anything, it doesn't obligate you to anything, and it really helps support my work and, you know, lets YouTube know that people are watching and liking my content. So thanks so much for watching. I hope everybody's having fun on their beading mats. I hope you found some inspiration today, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, jewelry making friends.